We're live at Gear Expo 2017. I'm Matt Jaster, Senior Editor at Gear Technology Magazine, and with me today is Chad Wesner, Gear Technical Engineering at 3M. Thank you, Chad, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Give us a brief background on 3M and its role in the gear industry.
Well, 3M has been around for over 100 years, and many people don't realize it, but 3M has been in the abrasive industry for over 100 years, and most of their successes were in the coated side of the business. Back in 2011, 3M purchased the Winterthur Technology Group, and there were two brands within the Winterthur Technology Group that were heavily involved in the bonded side of the business. There was the Winterthur brand that sold grinding wheels to the gear industry for decades, and there was also the Went brand that supplied diamond rolls and dressing spindles to the gear industry. So in 2011, 3M became a much more prominent player in the gear industry.
What are some of the latest products and technologies for gear grinding that 3M is highlighting at the show?
We have a number of them over there. Obviously, we have the Cubit Arm 2 product. We also have a couple newer products for the threaded wheel gear grinding industry. We have a 91 NDA that was just released a couple weeks ago. We initially targeted that for some of the older machines that couldn't quite run the speeds and feeds that are required to fully optimize the Cubit Arm 2 wheel. So we have that product over there. We also have a polishing wheel that is one part Cubit Arm 2, one part polishing wheel for some of our customers that are asking for much tighter surface finishes. We also have a number of diamond rolls for all three gear grinding applications, for the bevel grinding application, for the threaded wheel application, and also for the single rib or profiling application. We also supply dressing spindles to some of the OEMs, some of the machine tool builders in the gear grinding industry, and we have some dressing spindles on the booth as well.
How is 3M improving gear processing speeds and product life with its tooling today?
3M's just one part of the puzzle there. You know, we work with a number of the machine tool builders, and we're working with them to give the end user a better process at the end. So, you know, the machine tool builders have made many strides in the last couple decades on the performance of their machines, and we have to have a wheel that can hold up to the higher Q primes, the higher material removal rates, and also improve the end product for the end user.
In our magazine, we've covered 3M's long-term testing of these products. Briefly explain why your testing procedures are so thorough and why it's so important for gear grinding.
3M does, you know, prior to new product introduction, 3M does do extensive testing within our facilities, and then we also, prior to releasing the product to the public or for consumption at the end user, we handpick a few customers to go and test the product. And we want to be sure that once we release the product to the market, that we don't have any setbacks, that we do have consistent performance from lot to lot. And then after the new product is released, we also supply the support out in the field to the end users with the OEMs, and we do that by, you know, supporting them on the grinding wheel evaluation once the product is on the machine.
What's next for 3M in gear grinding?
What's next is it's already here. It's all relatively new. The 91 NDA specification was just released in North America 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that product, like I said, it was designed for we originally were designing it for some of the older machines where you can't quite reach the speeds and feeds of the Cubit Arm 2, but we've been running it on some of the newer machines because we're getting excellent flank form, and we're getting excellent finishes with it. So depending on the application, that's a new product. We also have the polishing wheel. More and more customers are coming to us and asking us for better finishes on the flank form. And the polishing wheel, actually the wheel that's over there is a Generation 1 wheel. We're already on Generation 3 polishing wheels. So those are some of the things that are coming in the very near future.
Excellent. Do we have any questions from the audience? Right here.
You talked a little bit about the Cubit Arm 2, and I wonder if you could explain a little bit about how the shape of the grain has an effect on the effectiveness of the wheel.
Well, typical grains are crushed grains, right? So they're not all the exact size and same size and shape. With the Cubit Arm 2, everyone's the exact same size and shape. So it has much more uniformity within the wheel and from lot to lot. And then by the shape of the triangle, we get excellent cleavage, grit fracture, where it's exposing new sharp cutting edges constantly.
And what does that mean in terms of performance?
Well, when I look at performance, you know, when I evaluate a grinding process, there's grinding wheels do two things, right? They cut and they wear. So I do a cutting performance and I do a wear performance. So depending on the application, when I do cutting performance, I use specific power slopes, specific grinding energy. I'm typically seeing specific power slopes and specific grinding energy 20 to 50% less in a lot of applications. And then when I go to the wear performance, you know, I can see 30, 40% more wheel life. And in certain applications, we've even quadrupled the wheel life of the current process.
Any other questions? Thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.